As you may have guessed by now, I'm one of these. So, I like toys. A lot. I'm also a 3D artist by trade, so I can appreciate good engineering in toys as well. What that really boils down to is a deep-seated excuse to never grow up. I watched cartoons, played with toys, and video games as a kid, so I chose a career where I could do the same thing as an adult, just with the added bonus of being able to make my own. That brings us to our topic of the day, Gunpla. What is that? Gunpla stands for Gundam Plastic Models. As you may recall, I spoke a little on Gundam in my first video. The plastic models produced as Gundam merchandise are what helped skyrocket the series' popularity, with over 450 million models sold to date. In the early days, articulation and quality was here and there, and required glue and paint to complete, but these days that's not the case. In 1990, Bandai introduced the high-grade line, HG for short. This was the 1 1/144th scale that introduced way better articulation and features formerly only found in larger models, such as transformation. Soon thereafter, a unified set of polycap joints, the soft plastic connectors that made for better articulation. They were created for the smaller scale models to allow easier mass production, especially for those models that all shared the same basic frame. In 1995, the Master Grade, or MG for short, was introduced for the 1 100 scale of models. That means bigger, better, more articulation, more moving parts, and so forth. In 98, they would get even bigger and even more detailed with the 1 60 scale Perfect Grade, or PG for short. This line featured working skeletal systems and light-up features, but this comes at a more hefty price, and only a handful of mobile suits have been released at this scale. In the 2000s, a new non-graded, or NG for short, 1 1/144th scale was introduced to tie in with the series Gundam Seed, with a completely different design plan, meaning while still being snapped-together kits, they would omit major joints. This meant only critical pieces could move, such as the neck, hips, shoulders, and feet. This was a cheaper alternative to the higher quality models. They also introduced a high-grade 1 100th scale line with similar quality to the other high-grade offerings. To commemorate the 30th anniversary of Mobile Suit Gundam, they released a new Master Grade 2.0 version of RX-78-2 with great improvements over previous kits, and it's designed to look more like its anime inspiration. In 2010, in comes the mega-size 1/48th scale model of RX-78. This kit was made to be easily assembled by newcomers, and when completed stands taller than most household pets. In the same year, they decided to go nuts and introduce the real grade, or RG for short, 1 1/144th scale, which is basically shrinking the MG kits into the 1 1/44. Other notable grades include MG 3.0, SD or Super Deformed, SDEX, budget lines such as EG, FG, and 1 100 no grade, AG, which had an arcade integration, Ecopla, a line molded entirely in black and made entirely from recycled sprues, and RE, or Reborn 100, which has the outward detail of MG but is not as intricate, therefore more affordable. And of course, the 1:1 scale version in Diver City. I need this thing in my front lawn. So now we know that these kits come in various shapes and sizes, where some can point their finger at you, while others can't even bend an elbow. Some will cost you pocket change, while others are more expensive than some college courses. Anybody can build a model kit, so what's the big deal? Well, the beauty of Gunpla is not simply confined to just building models. As stated earlier, these are articulated models that are designed to do more than just stand statically on your shelf. They are made to be posed, played with, displayed, and so on. They are engineered in such a way that you are encouraged to move them around. Some even completely transform or break down into other things. But there's still more. In the early days, paint was required just to complete the model, But now the models come in the colors they are intended to be. Also, kits include a variety of stickers for specific areas of the model. That being said, nothing is stopping you from breaking out the old paints and brushes and adding your own touches. Weathering, panel lines, battle damage, and repaints are all common in the Gunpla community. However, if simply repainting a model isn't enough for you, you can always explore the world of kit bashing. This is where you take parts from different models, or even non-Gunpla toys, and create an entirely new mobile suit. This could also include sculpted, 3D printed, or even casted parts. I've even used a 3D pen to modify the Gundam Gushing. There is a series of video games called Gundam Breaker, and even a sub-series based around this idea called Gundam Build Fighters, in which the mobile suits are customized Gunpla. Funny enough, the featured kits of the shows have been released as model kits, which means they mass-produce the unique suits, somewhat undermining the whole idea in the first place. I myself have currently completed 4 different kit bash builds. The first being Gundam Exia Red X, a combination of the HG Gundam Exia repair kit with the HGVC Skull Weapon Support Unit, and Dengeki Hobby Magazine's Estrella Conversion Kit. This was also my first attempt at airbrushing. I think the kit turned out well, and I'm pretty proud of it. Well, I have all these leftover parts from the conversion kit and the Exia repair, so I decided to take another Exia repair and build it into Gundam Exia Silver's Edge. This one is intended to be a more stripped down version with only blade weapons. As in Build Fighters Try, the sequel series to Build Fighters, you need a 3-man team, so I decided to let the first 2 be the flashy diversions, while my third suit was a cunning sniper. That leads us to Gundam L-Strike Ambush, a combination of Gundam L-Strike and the K9 Dog GM Sniper Support Unit. This one is covered in paint scratches and is made to look old and worn. He is armed with pistols, knives, and a giant sniper rifle. I've also done my fair share of simple repaints and panel lining, but as I mentioned before, I decided to see how a kit would fare against a 3D pen. This was a massive undertaking, as I had never used a 3D pen before when I started on this bad boy, aside from a few test runs right beforehand. I call this one the Gundam Gushing Golem. The idea is that nature had reclaimed this suit, complete with a giant tree growing out the back of it. Though it seemed like it took forever and killed my 3D pen, I really enjoyed making this kit, and may do more with 3D pens in the future. After all, I did pick up a second one just recently. Eventually, I would love to get into resin casting. I've been 3D printing for a while now, so I would love to incorporate all my skills together for one awesome mobile suit. Imagine it, a kit bashed, 3D printed, 3D pinned kit with sculpted and painted parts. The possibilities are endless. This video is actually the first time I've done anything with Gunpla in several months. At first, I used model building as a means of escapism for a hard time in my life. But now, whenever I get the chance, I just build for fun. And that allows me to be more creative with what I build. Unfortunately, I have such a hectic schedule at the moment that I haven't had the opportunity to build a new kit in a while. I have at least 5 or 6 that have never been opened, one of which I'm saving for resin casting, though hopefully, soon I can return to one of my favorite hobbies. Thank you so much for watching. I have been a potato, and I hope I have explained my love for building Gunpla. I would be more than happy to show you more of my toys in the future, so if you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you're new here, please subscribe. And remember, Potato Model Kit rumored to hit shelves in 2021.